Hi everyone, it's the Tides Changing here, and welcome to part 9 of Let's Build a Rustic Inn. I'm going to be doing something a little bit differently in this part. I'm going to be speeding up the portion of the video where I do changes based on suggestions by 3 times, just so I can still show the changes but move through them a little bit faster, because with the last part, I didn't realize it until I edited it, but I spent over 20 minutes changing things that were done in the previous part, and I just want to get through that a little bit faster. I don't want to spend almost half the video changing things that were previously done. You all probably want me to get to the new stuff a little quicker as well. So I think this is a good way to still show changes but then get to the new stuff a little faster. And I'm still going to do do when I furnish a new room in real time just because I like expressing my thoughts as I'm furnishing. So it's going to be a mix of sped up and then real time. But I hope you guys like this change, and if you all like it, it's probably something I'm going to continue to do in future parts so I don't keep ending up with 50-minute long parts. Moving on to the changes, a lot of you didn't like the rugs that I used in the entrance and also under the couch, the coffee table in the living room. So I just moved the one that was in the entrance into the bathroom and then put, I guess, more Native American styled rug in the entrance. And then I tried other rugs underneath the coffee table, but I just ended up keeping the same one because I liked how it looked. Robert and Anna Banana suggested putting the second rock wall back into the bar, so I went ahead and did that. Moving on, Treon X28 and Lois suggested that rather than having the island counters behind the bar, that I actually use regular counters, which was a really good idea because it does leave a lot more space for Sims to walk through, as you could just see there. And then also, Anna Banana suggested putting a sink right there, which I think works really well for a bar. I guess most bars have a sink somewhere so you can wash cups and such. And then I just used a move objects cheat to move a paper towel right next to the sink because I didn't really like where it was snapping the paper towels, but I still wanted to have one on the counter. And then I just was adjusting it a little bit more. So that was kind of a tedious process. Like, it's always really tedious to try and place items that way. And then I was trying to figure out where to put that little wine bottle item, but I felt like it was too crowded to leave it on the counter, so I ended up just completely getting rid of it. Moving back over to the bar area, Kevin, Jasmine, and Rachel all said that they felt like the rounded counter looked a little bit better and that the square counter just looked dull and like it took up a lot of space. So I just put back in the round one because I do agree with that. My reason for going with the straight one, as I said in the last part, was that I didn't like having the tile back behind the desk because it didn't quite match with the stone wall, but I do look at some other stone tiles or different kinds of tiles a little later on to try and find one that works a little bit better. I also spent a ridiculously long time trying to figure out what color to make this tissue box. Sometimes I do that where I just spend way too much time trying to find the perfect color for one little thing, but right now I'm just going through a ton of different tiles. I also put the tile back under the desk there, and I had a lot of trouble trying to find something that looked good and also went well with the tile. For the longest time I just went with this red tile, and I also cut out a long bit where I just kept going back and forth through different tiles. Like, I was just looking and then clicking undo, redo for like 5 minutes, just trying to make sure I was making the perfect choice of floor tile. And I do that a lot. Usually I cut it out because, like, you guys don't want to watch that. That's just really boring. But what I decided to do was make the portion of the flooring that's diagonal extend a little further back because I preferred having wood behind the desk. I just feel like it looks a lot better that way, but then it was kind of hard to have it look that way with a rounded counter, but I found that this was a way to do that, and then in the end I settled on that gray flagstone tile there, which was what I was comparing the original flooring I had to in the last part. And then going back to the desk, Angela reminded me that I should include the business card holder there, so I put that back in. That also reminded me to get that name plaque as well, so I added that in. Going to the living room in a colorful way, and Thomas said that they felt like the larger TV looked better, so I went ahead and just changed it back to the larger one. I also pushed the seating back a little bit because I felt like it was way too close for a TV that size. I also lowered the TV because Saga and Crazy Cat Sims pointed out that it was up way too high and that realistically you'd have to crane your neck to be able to see that, so I just put it more so on the lower level. Also, Matthew suggested moving the table to the middle window, but I ended up just getting rid of it because I felt like the table looked completely out of place. Next, Lily suggested that I add a little bit more seating into that area so that if you had a household of 8 Sims go on vacation here, they could all sit around it. So at first I just put another table or chair in there that matched the one that I had on the opposite side of the couch, and then I felt like that wasn't large enough seating. I felt like it might look better to have a love seat in there, but there wasn't a love seat that matched the couch, so I ended up using this one. I've called it Mediterranean style before, but I found out that it's actually technically, I believe, mission style or arts and crafts style. Yeah, I always thought it was Mediterranean style because it was used in Mediterranean houses. But, oh, before I forget, I did upload this in after I did all these changes because it was requested that I do that, so those of you who want to furnish it yourself can, so I'll have a link to that in the description below. Getting back to what I was doing, I just stuck an end table there, stuck a little lamp on it. I ended up just using the same one that I used over in the other seating area. After that, I ended up changing the TV back to a smaller one because the larger one took up a little bit too much of the wall and was sort of overpowering for that space. I also added in a bookshelf in this area, which was suggested by Keon Neon. I made sure not to cover too much of the window that was there with it, but I feel like that was the best spot in the room for it. I also changed the couch there to match the love seat and the chair. I just felt like it would look a little bit better if everything just came from a matching set, you know, the wood was all similar type. And then I also moved everything back a little bit just to fill in a bit of the space between the back of the couch and the door, because I was thinking about adding an accent table in, but I feel like that would just look a little bit too busy and that it was better just to leave it at the couch. And then now I'm just getting a look at everything from up above, also adding just a little plant to the bookshelf there, which also helps Sims from sticking plates and stuff on it, which is something that frustrates me. But we're nearing the end of the changes. I'm just doing one last change, which is getting rid of the plant there and then moving the bear over to the other side of the fireplace. Well, we are now ready to move on to the club/lounge type room. So first off, I'm just going to put some doors going into the dining room area. So I'm going to use a French door on either side, so that way we can have sort of a seating area in between them. And I'm using the French doors because in the comments of the last part, Black Milk pointed out that it is realistic that the dining room would have doors to it rather than an arch so that they could lock it up, you know, when it's not mealtime, and that a lot of inns do that and don't allow people into the dining area unless it's actually time to eat. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do as far as access into the dining room goes. And then as far as access into the kitchen, which is going to be right here, when I get into the dining room, I'll just put an arch going into it from here. But now I'm going to get back to the actual little lounge area. So this isn't going to be like, I'm not going to have a TV in here. It's going to be more of a community skill and activity type area. Although there really isn't a whole lot of space to work with, but I was thinking that for the walls, maybe I could go with a paneling mixed with some wallpaper, like perhaps this blue color, just so it's not all wood. And we also do have, I think I like this one more though because it has somewhat more of a rustic look than this type of paneling does. So I think I'm going to go with that. There is also this one right here. But now I think I like the one that's there more. And as far as the flooring goes, I want to use wood, but maybe this wood's a little bit too busy. So we could try that wood. Maybe also just the regular old paneling. Whoops. Maybe just the regular old paneling like this too would look best in there. And I wonder if that's what would look better out here also. So we can try that out here because I don't know if it's going to look weird having two different types of wood flooring in this place. But then I'm thinking that maybe this flooring right here is just a little bit too busy. So maybe just going with some simpler flooring might be better. And is this the same stuff that I used out? Oh, that is the same stuff I used out on the deck. Hopefully that's fine. I could also try this, which is similar, but a little bit narrower. And we can go in here and try some other woods as well. There's also this wood. I think this is the default color. What else is there? There's also, we're not going to go with that. There's this. That looks pretty nice, actually. Oh yeah, maybe I'll go with this one. So let's try that one in here as well. Or I kind of like the color of this one in here more. But, like I said, it might look strange. I have two different kinds of wood. But I do like how that one looks out there more. So perhaps we can just try that in here. Maybe once we get some lighting in, it'll look a little bit better. And we could also try different paneling as well. But let's get a look at this. Well, this wood instead. Yeah, I actually like this more. It's a lot less busy, which is good. And oh shoot, when did this happen? Oh, good thing I noticed that. All right, so we just gotta get that back in under there. Okay, yeah, I'm definitely gonna keep this wood out here. I just think it looks so much better out in this area. It makes it look a little less crazy. And then going back in here, maybe we do need to look at other paneling. So we could try this one. Because I do want this room to have more of an elegant look to it. But then again, the flooring being slightly different isn't really that big of a deal. Okay, I kind of like this one more. It just has more of that rustic look that I feel fits in with the place. So we can stick with it. It might end up looking better once we get everything else in. And then maybe right here we can put 2 columns in and then have sort of a stone accent wall. That could look kind of neat. I guess that sort of goes together. Oops. Maybe we could also, instead of blue, I believe this came in a gray kind of a color. So we could try that as well. And hopefully doing this isn't deleting objects. It's probably deleting something somewhere. But maybe if we do the gray rather than the blue, it'll go together a little bit better. Okay, I think that actually works a lot better. I think this coloring is fine, and I'll put a little seating area in front of this, which will help to cover up the brick some. So as far as chairs, maybe I could use this executive type chair. Because I can see this, I feel like this room would have something pretty fancy in it. So we could try that. And then get an end table in here, so we could use this one. This one's nice and fancy. So I do want this room to use higher end furniture than what was out in the main area. I want this room to have sort of a exclusive lounge kind of a feel, even though it really isn't. Okay, I think that's coming together, and then we also could use a lamp on top of it. Okay, so maybe this one or this one. Oh, okay, I like that. And I think we also need a little painting up on the wall. I want one that takes up a little bit more wall space than that. Maybe this one, and we can size it up. Okay, there we go, that's perfectly centered. Okay, I think that's coming together. Maybe we could also just try a whole paint access wall. Or access, not accent. Maybe a whole paint accent wall instead of this. Does that match? No, it does not. Maybe an accent wall that's a bolder color of paint. That could work. So we could do that. There was also this type of a color, but I think we've got this damask type. No, not damask, floral type thing going right here. I don't know about that. I kind of like the stone a little bit more. And I do have to admit, I'm getting through this a little bit quicker because I sort of tried recording this before, but then I just kept doing things I didn't like, and it was going to be a really long part of me just constantly scrapping things. Because I attempted all sorts. Like, I had paneling, like full paneling on the walls and red carpet, and I kept that for the longest time and kept trying things and trying to change it, and then eventually I was like, okay, we're not going to do carpet, and then it just would have been a long part without me getting very far, so I decided to just scrap it and just start fresh. Oh, maybe some wall lights up here. But yeah, I'm kind of doing some of the same things that I did in that little part just to move things along quicker. Okay, and I think we need another one over here. But now that we got some wall lights in, I'm going to figure out what kind of a color I want for this. So I could go with blue. So maybe that color would look really nice in here. Yeah, I think that looks really good. And the wood kind of goes together with this. Okay, so I think I'm going to stick with that. As far as a rug goes, I'm thinking this one again. I really like this rug. So maybe we try that color. We could also try just going with a light blue. Although that sort of clashes with the sofa a little bit. We could also just go with a more plain white color. Maybe this. Or kind of like that, but the couch is a little bit busy. That maybe looks nice with it. Yeah, I think I might stick with this one for the time being. We also need a coffee table back behind there. Okay, so coffee table. I really like this one. I think it's got some pretty nice colors that go with it. It's also not super big or busy, and I think it fits well in here. So I'm just going to use that color, and then let's also get some decorations on it. I'm thinking the little rose thing right here. I think that would look pretty. Whoops. There we go. I think that looked nice. Maybe some books. Kind of running out of knickknacks to use that really fit in. We could do candles, but then I don't know if that's like. I mean, I guess they'd be nice decorations, but I don't know if that's like making, like with the rose and all, it's making this look like a romance area or something like that. I don't know, but maybe we just go with white candles right here, so we kind of got some symmetry going with the rose and the candles. Perhaps that's a nice little seating area. And maybe we want to go with white for the couch rather than the blue. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do white, and then we have the blue rug, so that adds a little bit of a pop of color. A little bit. It's not really that colorful, but it kind of helps a bit. We could even go with that one, but I feel like this one works a little bit better. And now I'm not so sure about those candles. We could do a bowl of fruit, so they can eat fruit while they talk to each other. What about this little fancy globe thing? Ooh. That seems like something a fancy room would have. Okay, so we can try that. I feel like maybe this room needs some more color to it. I could also maybe rather than having those chairs, we could also try like just use brighter colors and sort of match it. And maybe go back to this. You know, let's try that. Let's try the chair that matches this. I think it's this one right here. Is this it? No, I think this was it. Yeah, that's it. Okay, so we can try this over here. Perhaps that would look a little bit better than the black. I don't know, maybe the black's a little bit too plain. We could use a little more color in this room. Although this really isn't that colorful, but then I'd rather have just a few pops of brighter color in this room rather than it all over the place. Over in this area, we can have a little writing area where they can just come and use a computer. I guess be an area, like, I don't know if hotels probably don't have, like, I don't know if they ever did have paid computer areas. I don't know, I haven't really stayed in a ton of hotels, but I don't know if that was a thing. I mean, I guess like most time nowadays it's just like Wi-Fi and people have their phones and stuff like that, so they don't really need to pay to use a computer at a place, but we can still just do that anyway because, you know, as a Sims, they can't really do a whole lot on their phone, so they could still come here, play games, and work on their skills and such on the computer. And as far as the desk chair goes, maybe we could use the more executive type chair right here. So I think I'm going to go for it in a black color. And then let's get some computer, so we can use this one. Yeah, I think that would look pretty nice. And then I'm not going to put a ton of decorative items on this desk because it's a, you know, it's a community type place. It's not really a home office, so I feel like there wouldn't really be a lot of personal touches like that. So we could just add in a little pencil cup, Like maybe just a pencil cup of various pencils that were left behind. You know, like maybe a kid left behind the little bear pencil right here. And then perhaps some tissues. Just because I guess that's always a good hospitality type item. And we can make this black. And then right in the center here, perhaps some sunflowers. But they're not going to snap to the center there, so what I can do is just fill in all the slots on the desk with sunflowers, or on both of them actually, and then just use the Move Objects On sheet to raise it up. So I've said this several times before, but to raise an object up, you just tap 9 once you have the Move Objects sheet on, which is bb.moveObjects. And actually, let me just show the cheat going in really quick as a refresher. So you just do bb, whoops, open up the cheat console, which is Shift plus Control plus C, and then bb.moveObjects. So just that. And I'm not actually going to hit enter because I have it on, so it's just going to turn off if I do that. So there's a little refresher for you guys, since I haven't actually mentioned that in a little while. I know I try to mention it whenever I do it, but then I still get questions on most parts about it. I think that's a good placement right there. Just because I think it would look really nice to have them centered right in front of the window. Yeah, that looks pretty nice. And then maybe we can change the actual can part of it to be black to match that. And then I think we need even more lighting in addition to the desk lamps, because those desk lamps really don't do a whole lot of lighting, but I feel like they fit in the best for this area, so we can have these wall lamps here to better light the whole area. We do need curtains. I forgot to put the curtains in, so we can do this curtain right here. And then as far as the color goes, we can try the white. Or we can do red maybe. Yeah, I think the white looks best. Right over in here, we could also put a painting in, so maybe just a smaller, fancy-looking painting would look good there. So we could try this little fruit ball painting right here. So we've got a painting of a fruit ball, and then we have an actual fruit ball over here. So, I don't know, maybe people look at this and then want to go over here and grab some fruit. And then, as far as right here goes, I was thinking I could add in a bookshelf. Maybe one that fits in right between the two doors. So is there a fancy one that fits in there? There is this one, but I can tell this is the one that comes with the crappy colors. Ooh, we could do this. Oh, that looks kind of nice. So perhaps we could also scoot it in a little bit further so it goes into the wall a little bit more. I really do like this bookshelf though. I do have to test whether Sims will even be able to get in and out of the doors with this right here, because they might be able to, they might not. I've been very surprised by what the Sims in this game can maneuver through. Maybe we don't want to go with that bookshelf. What is this? I've never really used this one before, actually. Oh, this one's a little crazy. Oh, there is this one. Ooh, that one's nice. I don't know what kind of colors it comes in. It looks a little beaten. Yeah, I haven't used a lot of the fancier bookshelves yet, just because I find them a little bit bulky and I don't really like the coloring. Okay, that's a little bit too much. We could just go with this one. This is the same one that I used out in the living room area, but it does fit in there rather nicely. It isn't too overwhelming. So we can just push it in a little bit more. Yeah. Okay. Oh, and it perfectly matches. Like, it actually looks like it's sort of built in between the doors because the coloring is almost the exact same. Okay, I like how that looks. And then we can also add maybe some plant life as a bit of decoration on top of it. What about, do you fit? Yes, you do. And you actually don't go through the ceiling. Cool. I was about to say I thought that would happen. We could try that. We could also try this one right here. That one looks a little bit too big. There is this one. I do like this plant. Yeah, I think I'm just going to go with this one because I really don't want to stick a tall plant on top of a bookshelf. And, yeah, I like that color. Maybe we can also add a few extra book items. Okay, so they're not really going to snap in there. I'll just leave this as is and not put any more additional items into it. Maybe back in this corner I could put in another end table and then put that little floral vase item that came with Outdoor Treat. That might look really nice on there. I don't use the same one. This one comes with like the funky gold trim that's kind of busy, but we can try and see how it looks in here. Because I like the wood coloring on this, but I don't like the gold trim. Not a huge fan of the gold trim. That's really not a whole lot better. The gold actually works a little bit better because it does sort of go with this, so we can just stick with that. And then now let's get that little flower in a vase thing right here, which is really cute. I really like this little item. So we can just rotate it a teensy bit. There were a few other can colors for it. So maybe go with black, blue. The blue's nice. Maybe it's not too bright. We could also go with red for even more of a, you know, have it pop out even more. Maybe kind of ties in with this. So I think the red's fine for a pop of color. I feel like back here we need a rather large area rug. There just needs to be something on the wood floor back here. So we could try this and then maybe have it go right there. I think right there's fine. You might not want to have any rugs right under these chairs because then chairs would just get stuck on them, although as it is now when you roll the chairs back they might kind of snag a little bit. But it's a sim, so that doesn't really matter. We could try this. Something that sort of goes with that. This color actually isn't that bad. We could also go with this sort of red one. There is... That one sort of matches, but... it's a little bit... I don't want a rug that's square. I want one that's more longer, one way. I'm planning to end the part after I finish this room just because the last part was 50 minutes long, which is very long. Like, I prefer not to make videos that long. I know some of you said that you enjoy the longer videos, but then I also understand that for a lot of people, 50 minutes is just a lot of time out of your day. So I don't really want to keep making videos that length. Maybe just the regular old black color that it first comes in looks best. It might be best just to get rid of this rug and try another one. I could do this one right here, sort of centered between the door, in front of the doors, but the only problem is then it's not centered behind the couch, and that just drives me nuts. So it's like no matter what I do, one thing is going to be uncentered, unless I use one of the rugs that are the same size as this one, but then I don't really like... I could try this one. It's a little bit more modern than what I would want to use in here, but it also does have some more subtle color options, and I feel like that's what I really need for this. Just because I really like this rug and I really want to keep it. So this one actually doesn't look half bad. You probably don't want to go darker. That one also looks nice. You know, perhaps the white looks better for this. I wish this came in an actual white kind of a color, but it doesn't. Even that doesn't really look that bad. I could also go with that color for that, and then this color for the chairs. That could actually look nice. That actually doesn't look half bad because then these blues kind of go together, and then the white in this rug ties in with the white in this one. That actually doesn't look half bad, and then the bolder colors in this area are pretty nice. Like, this area definitely could use colors that stand out a little bit more than the more pale blue. So let's look at this from over in here. You know what? I'm gonna stick with that. I think the pop of blue looks nice, and then you've also got a few pops of red in here as well. And so I don't want this room to be super colorful, but I think that it does help to make it not all neutral colors. And some of you, well, a lot of you wanted to see a card table in here. So I could try that. I'm not really a huge fan of the colors that the card tables have. I feel like the coloring that they have is actually sort of cheap, and I feel like it might crowd the room a little bit too much to add one in. I can try, though. We could also always just do a two-seater card table rather than having four around it, because I'm not sure. I haven't played around with the card tables too much, but my guess is that they can still use it. So maybe we can go with this one, go with the navy blue color to match the couch. Yeah, this color's a little bit cheap for me, and then the wood doesn't match. The green doesn't look too bad. maybe that's not half bad with the green. I'm looking at it without it. I mean, maybe the room is just complete as is with this. Oh yeah, something else I was thinking, like I kind of forgot to mention it, but for this wall right here, I was thinking we could put a fireplace in here, like have a little, like do the same thing with the columns and a stone accent over here in the dining room, and then actually have a fireplace on this side. But I'll do that more so in the next part. I'll just get this in here for the time being so you can sort of see it. But in the next part, I will work on the dining room, and if the dining room doesn't take too long, maybe I'll get onto the kitchen. If not, then I'll just save the kitchen for the part after that, because like I said, I don't want the parts to get too long. I don't want to keep doing 50-minute parts. But before ending things, we can get sort of one last look around at things. I like to do that at the end of the parts. So here, actually, let me get this back in. So here we can sort of see the little seating area right here. And then moving back over into this area, you have these computers right here. But I'm going to end the part here. I hope you'll enjoy the video. Thanks for watching, and bye!